Crowbar Gym, Fitness Evolution. The real high intensity is here. Stop wasting time with worthless exercises. Get real results here at Crowbar Gym. 15-minute workouts once a week. Tap into your central nervous system. Stop playing the guessing game. Stop wasting time. Your future results are here at Crowbar Gym.
All right, Crowbar Gym, downtown Leesburg. Hope everybody's doing great. I got to get better at this documenting thing. Yeah, doing a lot of research for business stuff. It was a little rough, but I'll tell you guys, last 2 months, I'm not sure the economy or something going on like that, all the stuff's happening in the govy and then, things over there and the economy and everything else. Yeah, well, either way, we're still doing good. Got more clients, got new people, got people who want to do more training. And it's funny because it's lately I've been getting a lot of people who have been getting hurt. Recently I saw a lady who was doing Orange Theory, and I'm not trying to like downplay anybody or be mean to anything in the sense of like what kind of exercise you wanna do. I'm gonna do a series of videos actually on what exercise is and what activity is, and at the end of the day there's a progressive overload that technically has to happen. And a lot of people don't seem to still they seem to still kind of like convolute what the purpose of exercising is about, and the whole the whole mechanism of it and what your objective is in general. Sorry, I'm just driving, doing some evasive maneuvers. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, I just listen to people, and they get themselves in these these places, and they're doing a lot of dynamic movements. They're doing a lot of volume. They're just working out every day. And there's nothing wrong with working out every day. Like at the end of the day, you should be doing something every day, right? But there's a big difference between activity and activity and actual bona fide real exercise. That's just the truth. You're not going to get away from the fact that, for example, let's just look at contraction rate, right? If you're holding a weight in a static form, right, for a minute, you're constantly on from point A to point B, right? There's no dynamic movement there. You're just holding a weight. If that weight's too light, clearly you have to up the weight more and make sure that it's at the sweet spot of your maximum. But a lot of people are just lifting weights, not knowing their numbers. They don't know, how many sets and reps they're supposed to do. And on top of that, they don't even know what their fatigue rate is. So I got to do a whole video on this just because it's, it seems like a lack of education. That, and also people just get hurt. This one person was doing so much volume that they messed up their back, and they caused their back to spasm. And don't get me wrong, with my method, and the method that is called high tension, high intensity training, some people call it Arthur Jones way, power of 10, tempo training, etc. You can hurt yourself, but the reality is that you really got to be pushing yourself super hard or doing really poor technique to really, really hurt yourself. There's something called a shearing force, and when we used to do CrossFit, like I said, no, I'm not trying to down on anybody's mechanisms here or their activities, but there's a lot of people that would stick it out to 150 pounds or 120 pounds when they're doing cleans and jerks and all kinds of stuff up, and they would never get that weight up more than they needed to. Well, it's an Olympic lift that you're throwing up in the air and you're snatching and cleaning. They're all dynamic movements. You got a progressive overload. What I saw one time actually, gentleman who did strict lifts. Strict lifts was like, he did overhead press, he did curls, he did, deadlifts and stuff like that. Strict lifts. When he was practicing and working on his snatch and clean, and he was a newbie, right? He was doing it wrong. The amazing thing was that he was like curling. I'm not joking. Like, this guy was curling 150 pounds with his hand palm down, and because he was trying to do like a clean. So he was kind of like getting it, but he wasn't, because he didn't have the momentum that he was looking for. But he was like muscling it up. And I love the comments when I was seeing at the bottom. I was like, oh dude, you need more dynamic lift. You gotta thrust your hips, or you gotta snap this. And I'm just thinking in my head, it's like, why does it even need to do that nonsense? I actually wrote in the comments. His name is Zach Evanesh, the Underground Strength Coach. And I go, your method works. Your strict lifts, heavy lifts is what he used. Your method lift, he's literally like, he got it up to 180 pounds, where he was like curling he was kind of, he was still kind of trying to pop it up, and he was curling it, but he was still muscling it. And I just said to myself, it's like, yeah, what I'm doing here, it makes no sense. When I was doing CrossFit, now, don't get me wrong, I loved it. It was a good experience. I'm glad I did it. I had great people in my corner. I had good coach. Conan was a phenomenal coach. And dude, I worked my ass off. But eventually I hurt my back doing that exercise. And a lot of people have hurt their backs to the point where, like, you'll see forums and boom, I know I'm going off on the rant. So yeah, so I'm just kind of giving you guys some updates. But yeah, this is what I've been seeing, and this is for a lot of things. People just convolute the idea on what is exercise and what is an activity. If you're doing some kind of activity and you believe it's exercise, if you can do that activity for longer, for longer than literally like 10 to 15 minutes, right? Because I'm being kind of generous here when it comes to weightlifting too. Like, if your weightlifting is 2 hours, right? This is PEDs or no PEDs. That's performance enhancement drugs. You're doing it wrong. You're not doing exercise. You're doing an activity. And an activity means that you are adapting to that activity, and you're getting better, and you're adapting, and you're technically, the activity is becoming less of an actual exercise, and it's becoming more a wear and tear on your body. And I've been, I've said this for a while, and I need to do some more videos on it. When it comes to, like, you're gonna, like, what's it called? Exercise your way out of your poor habits, meaning your poor diet. It doesn't work that way. Some people are really blessed, and they can get away. They do activity all day long, and they get super lean, or they run, they get super lean, they walk, they get super lean. So a lot of people don't do that. If you look at people's habits, and I'm going to do a video on this one too, and I have my off days too. Like, when I want to get lean, I have to really hone it in. Big thing is, first goal is to honestly pay attention to what's going on in your blood work. So if you're having heart issues, clearly you're having too much crap, right? If you can still eat and eat comfortably, right, and eat very healthy, and then you'll be, below 30% body fat to 20% body fat. That means you're doing good. I don't care what anybody says. We have these, like, recently they had this gene commercial where people losing their minds over this girl has good genes. Yeah, some people have great genes. It happens, but that doesn't mean that you can't get a good workout, and you can't get a good meal plan, and actually, like, get fit like the way you want, right? And I love how people, like, they want to live that life, but, like, you've never even taken the time out of the whole year to say, like, you know what, I'm going to take like 3 months or 2 months or 1 month, even a day, where you're like, I'm just not going to have that ice cream. You know what I mean? So I just find it kind of ridiculous. And then, like, it's like this cycle of feeling bad. So a lot of psychological stuff going on there. A lot of the stuff that people preach in the fitness industry is a bunch of nonsense too, because the reality is it's something you do for a short amount of time, and then you go back to your bad behaviors. That's really what it is. And that's why it don't work. But if you look at these people who are in the fitness industry, and they're doing the work, they're putting in the time, they're putting in the effort. That shit didn't come out of nowhere overnight. You know, they're living that life. They're living that lifestyle. Is it obtainable? Yeah, it is. It is tremendously obtainable. Now, are you willing to pay the price? A lot of people are not, and this is what I have to say on that. If you don't want to pay the price, at least pay the price for the sake of you making sure that your heart works well. You know, your bones are not falling apart. You know, you're not getting osteoporosis. You know, you're not getting dementia. You know, whatever other Western problem that we have out there, it's all related to food and toxins and all kinds of stuff with that. But yeah, I mean, recently I got a lot of stuff for you guys because I haven't been out here for a while. I got a new water machine. We make hydrogen, right? I'm experimenting with nano gold, you know, just to see how that works. You know, new protocols on training and lifting. Been doing a lot of like post rehab work with people, just because, you know, people have injuries. When people listen to my suggestions, I'm not trying to make anybody a bodybuilder or whatever, but, you know, so far my suggestions have been good for hormones and also for dieting and exercise with strength and conditioning. And I put a lot of time and effort into researching this stuff or taking classes and courses. But I've been neglecting my time, my training myself. So now I'm really putting some time in. Today I just did, some training with Frank, with Lucien Royal Kung Fu Silat. So we did that today, and you guys are gonna be seeing my new video where we went up to the Krav Maga camp. It's gonna be awesome. You know, we got this guy technically did an awesome job. And he just like filmed us. It's a totally different type of flavor, the way it looks, the way it feels. I'm gonna put it out soon. It's gonna be cool. Try to get back to martial arts, kick it up a little higher notch. Right now in martial arts we're doing just some I would say soft sparring, bare knuckle. You know, we have like karate rules, no points. Still hitting the body, almost touching the face. Eventually, we're going to get to use some gear. Control is really great. Still doing forms, a lot of conditioning, doing pad work, of course. But yeah, so that's what we've been doing for the martial arts. Kind of stayed away a little bit from some of the weapons. Just working on our hands more jiu-jitsu, traditional Japanese jiu-jitsu. Taiho Jitsu or AJ, George Kirby stuff too as well. We train that at the dojo gym, and then of course we have a spa section. You know, I know you guys didn't think that, but we do. We got a massage at the place. There's some things up and coming that hopefully I can get in there. Then talk about the Roxiva. So we got a Roxiva brain entrainment device. Go through meditation. But yeah, so this is me rattling off a whole bunch of stuff. All right, guys. Crowbar Gym out. Peace. I'm gonna try to get online more. Document. Take care.